السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, today it is Wednesday the 27th of Sha'ban 1443, and this matches the 30th of March 2022. We are doing the summary of the book Madaarij as-Salikeen, and we started yesterday al-Khuluq, the station of character. And I remind you again, especially for those who are attending for the first time, that this is basically the road to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the next life. And there are many stations on the way. One is a traveler, right? You are like a stranger who is traveling on earth, and on your travel you pause and stop, take provision and continue in those different stations. So this is the road to the akhirah, and there are many qualities that we need to adorn ourselves with, beautify ourselves with. Part of that is the quality of good character, al-Khuluq. So he started yesterday about character, and he spoke about the excellence of it, and that it is the good character is the description of Nabiyuna, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. He mentioned that the root or the base for good character, there are four qualities: as-sabr, patience; al-iffa, chastity or being chaste; and the al-adl, justice. Justice is the last one. Before that is a-shaja'a, courage, right? Being brave, and the last one is being just and fair. And he mentioned that from these four main qualities that branch off so many good qualities, many good behaviors and manners or morals. Now he's gonna speak about the other side, the bad character. He said, وَمَنْشَأُ جَمِيعِ الْأَخْلَاقِ السَّافِلَةِ, the place from which all the low type of character or characteristics or qualities stem from, the source of that, and وَبِنَاؤُهَا عَلَى أَرْبَعَةِ أَرْكَانٍ, the evil character is built upon four pillars. So you have four for good character and four for bad character. Those four are al-jahl, ignorance; wal-zulm, oppression, being oppressive or unjust; wal-shahwa, following lusts and desires; right? Wal-ghadab, anger, right? Anger. فالجهل يريه. Now he's gonna explain how these four are the root for the many other bad behaviors. فالجهل يريه الحسن في صورة القبيح. Ignorance will show the person what is good. It will show him the good in the image of that which is ugly. Something very good and beautiful, he will see it to be very ugly and horrible. Why? Because of ignorance. والقبيح في صورة الحسن, and the opposite, it will make him see the ugly in the image of that which is good. والكمال نقصا والنقص كمالا, he will see what is perfect to be deficient, and what is deficient to be perfect. Right? And this is يعني subhanallah, this ignorance is there. You see someone, a man, a male, having a beard, they say it doesn't look good to them. Right? They want him clean shaven and looking like a right? That's how they see it. Is the opposite of what it is. All the prophets had beards, right? The prophets and messengers, and long beards to a point that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, when he got angry with his brother Harun, what did he do? He pulled him by his hair and his beard, right? And this is recorded in the Quran, right? So even previous prophets, it's not just Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in the salah, silent salah. They know that he recites, and they say he was reciting. They were asked, the companions, how did you know he was reciting? They said, بِاضْطِرَابِ لِحْيَتِهِ. His beard was shaking. So it was a silent salah, dhuhr or asr, but then they can see his beard is moving. How is it moving? He was reciting. Alayhi as-salatu was-salam. They see a woman covering herself, hijab or niqab, and they will say, look, they will see it. Then they see a woman almost naked. They say that's what's good. The reason is ignorance, and there is so many other, and it's worse than good looking or bad looking. It's you know, يعني, if someone does something, they will view it bad and an act of terror. But if someone else does it, they will see it as heroism, and he, يعني sacrificed his life. It becomes martyrdom, right? And this has been exposed, يعني, clearly. If those who don't, even those who don't see, they were able to see it, right, on the major news networks just recently, right? So this is the case. Al-Jahl is one main problem. From it, there comes a lot of bad qualities. Ignorance. Second, al-Dhulm, being unfair, unjust. يحمله على وضع الشيء في غير موضعه. Oppression, being oppressive or unjust, or injustice or unjust, right? Having injustice or being unjust, it will make him put something in other than its rightful place. فيغضب في موضع الرضا. He gets angry in the place where he should be satisfied. And ويعجل في موضع الأناه. He will rush in a place where he should be taking matters slowly. ويبخل في موضع البذل. He will be stingy in a place or in a time where he should be generous and offering his help. ويحجم في موضع الإقدام. He will hold back in a time and a place where he should go forward and he should embark upon doing something, to do something about it, not to stop and hold back. ويقدم في موضع الإحجام, and the opposite too. He will embark upon something, he will go forward in a place and a time where he should just pause and stop and not take an action. ويلين في موضع الشدة. He will become soft and lenient in a time or a place where he should be tough. And the opposite. يشتد في موضع اللين. He will be tough in a place where, or a time where he should be soft and lenient. ويتواضع في موضع العزة. He will humble himself in a place and a time where he should be showing might and honor. ويتكبر في موضع التواضع. And he will be arrogant in a time and a place where he should humble himself. All of this is because being unjust, oppressive, unfair, ظلم. والشهوة, this is the third one, shahwa, desire, lust. تحمله على الحرص والشح والبخل. It will lead him to be very greedy, very miserly, and very stingy. Right? Desire, shahwa, will lead him to عدم العفة. He will not have a chaste soul. It will lead him to النهمة والجشع. Right? Nahma is when someone has very strong desire. You know, he will devour all the food in front of him. He will take all the money in front of him. Right? Al-Jasha, extreme greediness, covetousness. والذل والدناءات كلها. Also, desire and lust will lead him to be accepting dhul, humiliation, right? Because he wants to get something. He wants to get some food. He accepts to be degraded and badly treated and humiliated, right? والدناءات كلها. Desire will lead him to accept all types of lowly things because he wants to achieve his goal. He wants to enjoy, fulfill his desire, and lust. He will accept anything. والغضب, as the fourth one, يحمله على الكبر. غضب, anger, it will lead him to have the quality of kibr, arrogance, والحقد, extreme hate and rage towards others, والحسد, envy, والعدوان, transgression. He gets so angry he will hurt people, he will attack. والسفه, acting in a foolish way. When someone is angry, he will act in a foolish way, and to a point that sometimes and he lost his mind. He doesn't even remember what he said and what he did. Right? Really acting in a foolish manner. He said, ويتركب من بين كل خلقين من هذه الأخلاق أخلاق مذمومة. And there can be comprised or assembled from every two qualities, two morals here, two characteristics. From these different morals, أخلاق مذمومة, this praiseworthy qualities and characteristics. And it's something to be angry, right? Bad quality. But imagine someone who is very, very hot, very angry person. Add to that, he's ignorant. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Now it's a double trouble, as they say. It's a multitude of, at least if he has knowledge, he is angry, but then he will stop himself. But when someone is ignorant, he might say words that will take him out of Islam, which they do. They do. But they are very angry and at the same very ignorant. Someone could be very ignorant, right? But not as angry. And the opposite. Very angry but not as ignorant. But if both of them are together, and if you add to that, with that he has desire, right? Or he is very unjust, right? He's lacking justice, is a big problem. He said, ملاك هذه الأربعة أصلان. Those four which are ignorance, oppression, desire, lust and desire, and anger. Those four, they can be traced back to two principles or two foundations. Right? Milak or malak, with a fatha on the mim or a kasra on the mim. Malakul amr or milakul amr. It's the issue that will put together for you the matter or the affair. The origin, the base for the matter. The base for those four are actually two, and they are إفراط النفس في الضعف إفراط النفس في الضعف, for the soul or the self to be extreme, to be excessive, extremely excessive in ضعف. ضعف means weakness, right? ضعف or ضعف, both of them mean weakness, right? الضعف. وإفراطها في القوة. The other side is being excessive, the self being extremely excessive in strength. So either very strong or very weak. That's where it goes back to. All of these qualities. يتولد من إفراطها في الضعف. There results from the soul or the self being extremely excessive in weakness. Someone is so weak, right? What results from that is al-mahana, despicableness, being very lowly. Wal-bukhl, stinginess, right? As the self is very weak. He will think if he spends the money, nothing will be left for him. He gets afraid, right? Weak. وَالْخِسَّةُ وَاللُّؤْمُ, lowliness and ignobility, right? وَالذُّلْ, disgrace. والحرص, extreme greed. والشح, miserliness, being a miser. وسفساف الأمور والأخلاق, and the matters and morals that are very, very minute and little. Right? Why? The self is very weak, the soul is very weak. So it will pay attention to something that is worthless, is very little, very small. But then the soul is weak. That's why it pays attention to it. ويتولد من إفراطها في القوة, and there results from the soul being very excessive in power or strength. There results from that الظلم, oppression. والغضب, anger. والحدة, being furious and being very tough. والفحش, using obscene language, obscene statements and actions. والبطش, and to hurt others. ويتولد من تزوج أحد الخلقين بالآخر, and there results from one of the two characters, one of the two characteristics, marrying the other one. There results from that they will beget. They gather together and they will beget. He says they will beget أولاد غية كثيرون, children out of wedlock, out of marriage, due to zina. That are so many. غية or غية. غية or غية. Right? This means, children of والعياذ بالله adultery. فإن النفس, he is describing the evil morals as bad children, right? Children out of wedlock. قد تجمع قوة وضعفا, for the soul it may gather strength and weakness. فيكون صاحبها, you might have the two together. Someone has a very weak soul or very strong soul. Someone could be weak and strong at the same time. So from the two combining, you will have so many bad things. And it's true. He says, for instance, فيكون صاحبها أجبر الناس إذا قدر. The one who has this mix between the two, he will be the toughest and the hardest and the most compulsive or compelling. He will hurt others and subdue others, right? If he is able only if he is able. وأذلهم إذا قهر, and you find him to be the most humiliated, the most disgraced, if there is someone who's stronger than him and he compelled and subdued him. And this, subhanAllah, you see in life. Right? You see someone very, very, very oppressive, but with the weak ones. If there's someone who's stronger than him, you find him very, very subdued, very submissive. Yeah. He said, ظالم عسوف جبار. You will find him to be ظالم, oppressive. عسوف, very, very oppressive and unjust. Jabbar, compeller. Right? He subdues others and hurts them. فإذا قهر صار أذل من امرأة. If he was subdued and beaten, he will be weaker than a female, a woman. جبان عن القوي جريء على الضعيف. He will be coward towards the strong, coward from dealing with someone who's a strong person. جريء على الضعيف. He will be very daring when he's dealing with someone who's weak, daring against the weak. But with the strong, he's right, mute, completely mute. فالأخلاق الذميمة يولد بعضها بعضا. Evil or dispraiseworthy characteristics, some of them beget the others. They beget one another. They bring one another into existence. كما أن الأخلاق الحميدة يولد بعضها بعضا. Exactly like praiseworthy morals, they will also beget one another. They will result in one another happening. وكل خلق محمود مكتنف بخلقين ذميمين. Every good praiseworthy character is surrounded by two dispraiseworthy characters or characteristics. وهو وسط بينهما. The good character, the good characteristic is just the middle in between the two. وطرفاه خلقان ذميمان. The two edges, the two ends of it is evil, dispraiseworthy morals. Right? So you have the good character, you can imagine it to be the middle of the, if you have a ruler or a stick, the middle is the good character. The two edges, the two sides, are the excessive bad characteristics. So every good character, he says, is surrounded by two evil ones. Every good character is surrounded by two evil ones, right? On the two edges, on the two extremes, right? And the good character is like just balanced in the middle. He said, كالجود, like generosity, الذي يكتنفه خلق البخل والتبذير. Generosity is surrounded by two evil morals, which are stinginess and overspending, being a spender, wasting money. والتواضع, humbleness, الذي يكتنفه خلقا الذل والمهانة والكبر والعلو. Humbleness is surrounded by two characteristics, two characters. On the one edge is humiliation and disgrace, and on the other side, arrogance and trying to be superior and above others. Right? Tawadu isn't just in the middle. If you have excessiveness in one side, you will go down from being humble to being weak and being, disgraced and humiliated. And if you go excessive on the other end, you will become arrogant and trying to be, full of pride and, better than the others. You view yourself superior and better than others. He said, فإن النفس متى انحرفت عن التوسط انحرفت إلى أحد الخلقين الذميمين ولا بد. He said, the self, the soul, if it deviated from taking a middle course, from being justly balanced, it will deviate to either one of the two dispraiseworthy characteristics. ولا بد, no running away from that. So either you are justly balanced or you are off a little bit, then you are to the low, going down, or you are off a little bit to the other side, so you're going more excessive, right? Either excessive in weakness or excessive in strength, right? Either overdoing it or under, right? فإذا انحرفت عن خلق التواضع, if the soul deviates from the character of humbleness, انحرفت إما إلى كبر وعلو وإما إلى ذل ومهانة وحقارة. It will deviate from humbleness either to arrogance and trying to be superior over others, or to humiliation, disgrace, and despicability, حقارة. Right? وإذا انحرفت عن خلق الحلم, if the soul deviates from the character of hilm, hilm, which we said is like forbearance, as we say in English, forbearance, right? Hilm is to have patience and gentleness and not to rush to act, not to rush to punish, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-Halim, right? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if the soul deviated from hilm, from forbearance, it will deviate either to إما إلى الطيش والنزق والحدة والخفة. Either it will shift to acting foolishly, طيش, والنزق, very close to that, right? Acting in a foolish manner, like a fool, right? And being too rigid and tough, right? Lightheadedness, right? Acting foolishly with lightheadedness, right? وإما إلى الذل, or the other side, right? So you will not forbearance, so you will rush to act and you will be too tough in punishment and act as if there is nothing, no brain in your head. And a little child made something, he will beat and hit, right? And in a way that overreact, no forbearance. Or it's the other side, he will shift to humiliation, despicability, having lowliness, right? So he will be humiliated, and he thinks, let's be patient with this. He is his right is taken away from him, right? He's being oppressed, and he says, "Oh, forbearance. Let's just go through this, and it's good to take this in and endure, and not to do anything." So he says, فَفَرْقٌ بين من حلمه حلم ذل ومهانة وحقارة وعجز. There is a difference between the one whose forbearance is a forbearance that is stemming from forbearance due to humiliation, loneliness, despicability, and inability. He's unable to even take his right back. So he just accepts whatever happens to him. There's a difference between this forbearance, which is not really true forbearance, right? وبين من حلمه حلم اقتدار وعزة وشرف. And between the one whose forbearance is a forbearance of ability and honor and nobility, right? So there is a difference between the two, right? Someone who is fighting in a battle, and he lets the elderly, the women, the children just go to the side. He leaves them and he handles only those who are. There's a big difference. It's, he is able to hurt everybody, but he doesn't do that. He controls his. He's only hurting those who deserve to be hurt. And the other one who's, being hit and being accepts, let's just accept what happens. Difference, a big difference. وإذا انحرفت عن خلق الأناة والرفق, if the soul deviates from the character of taking things slowly, يعني not rushing, رفق, gentleness, if it deviates from those qualities, انحرفت, it will deviate إما إلى عجلة وطيش وعنف, either it will deviate to being rash, rash and haste in judgment and action, وطيش, foolishness, acting foolishly, وعنف, dealing with violence, وإما إلى تفريط, or the other side is تفريط, negligence, وإضاعة, putting things to waste, والرفق والأناة بينهما, gentleness and taking things slowly, which are good qualities, then this is in between. It's at the middle between those two edges. وإذا انحرفت عن خلق الشجاعة, if the soul deviates from the quality of bravery and courageousness, انحرفت, it will deviate إما إلى تهور وإقدام غير محمود, either it will deviate to tahawwur, which is recklessness. The reckless person, he doesn't see the results and the ends and the consequences. He doesn't care even. He just throw himself and let what happens happens. وإقدام غير محمود, he will embark upon something, he will be forward, but then not being praiseworthy in that regard. وإما إلى جبن وتأخر مذموم, either that too forward, or he will deviate from courageousness to cowardness, jubn, وتأخر, holding back, that is dispraise worthy. وصاحب الخلق الوسط, the one who has a character that is a middle course, that is justly balanced, مهيب محبوب, he is respected so much, dearly respected, with the people have some sort of fearful respect for him, right? It's like how Rasulullah ﷺ was described, ﷺ. If you see him, the heart is filled with respect, fearful respect, right? محبوب, he is beloved because he is balanced. عزيز جانبه, his side is honorable side and mighty side. حبيب لقاؤه, he is beloved, يعني to meet with, and it's lovely to meet him and to be with him. Why? Because he has a character that is justly balanced, just a middle course. So this is the end of this section about the station of al-Khuluq. Actually, there is still it's part of this section, which is Subulu Tahdhib al-Akhlaq, which is one of the best sections of the books of this book. How to refine your morals, how to refine your character, inshallah. This comes in about that and another section after it, also part of the station of Khuluq, comes in about 10 pages. So I was thinking maybe we do tomorrow and the day after, but I don't think we can cover all of that within the next 2 days. And Ramadan is just starting soon. So I think tomorrow we'll be going back to the لطائف المعارف by Imam Ibn Rajab, and he will start talking about the excellence of Ramadan and the other things pertaining to Ramadan. So basically, that's what we will be doing the next few days, inshallah. Even after Ramadan starts, we will continue with this subject as this is the time for it. Right? So if we finish some subjects and we have some time, then we'll go back to this topic again from Madaarij as-Salikeen by Imam Ibn al-Qayyim, inshallah ta'ala. So I will stop here, inshallah. We still have like 10 minutes to Salah. If there is any question you want to ask, we can handle that, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Or else we will wait for the Salah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.